try to get a thumbnail real quick. Try to get a thumbnail. Maybe that it would choose one of these thumbnails. Okay. Yeah, I had to do that and then come back here to get on the charger. What was I gonna say today? Oh yeah. Essentially, I had a thought and I was thinking this in the depths of my mind. It's like I was semi-conscious. Like I remember what I was thinking in my sleep, and it's essentially that. Man, I just got done watching Dr. David Hawkins' video about how when you get to the depths of your being, or you get to the stillness in the being, and you project an intention into the stillness, and it tends to manifest, but in what looks like no time at all. You see, the problem is that this is my theory. Now I'm segueing into my thoughts about it. The problem is that you're in the traffic jams of your mind. You're in the traffic, so how can you see what's possible or what's beyond the traffic of your mind? What's possible? Like, you're going through your daily life, constantly trying to get to a certain point, but you cannot even get there or see what's possible because you are in a certain car in traffic. The car is essentially the thought that you're identifying with, or the person that you're identifying with. So for example, in my case, if I want to be a sculptor or have the sculpting skill set, not necessarily be a sculptor. You can be considered a sculptor, but it's really just a skill set. If somebody becomes good at something, now the world calls them that thing. It's not true, but it's what they call them. If you get good at making money, you're called an entrepreneur. If you get good at playing a sport, you're called an athlete. If you get good at playing an instrument, you're called a musician. You aren't a musician, but you're called these things. And that's just how it is, but who you are is far greater and nameless, really. But we give the names to, ground ourselves into a certain reality where people can actually talk with language. But yeah, I'm just rambling into something else. But yeah, you're in the traffic jams of your thought. Now let's say you get out of the traffic jams of your thought, aka stilling your being, getting your being to a complete stillness. This is the only way to do something in what looks like no time at all, because you can consciously will your way through life and get to where you need to go. But in order to break it down into what looks like no time at all, is you need to rewire yourself. And the only way to rewire yourself is to get to the stillness of your being. You cannot rewire yourself if you're in the traffic jams of your mind. You have to get your being completely still. And in that stillness is when you project an intention of who you want to be. You don't ask, I want to, you become. So you have to get yourself to that stillness and then begin to identify with what you want. So for example, if I want to be a 3D sculptor, I need to get to my being to the complete stillness. Absolute no noise, very still, feeling the presence. And then in that presence, I take on the identity of being a masterful 3D sculptor. And if you do this correctly, you will have no counter intentions, meaning what you previously dealt with before. Let me pause because this train. So yeah, I think I was saying, if you have no counter intentions, right? Then you can progress very fast. So for example, I always ask myself the question, how come this person succeeds so easily and this person does not? Well, it's because one of the people have no counter intentions. The other has a bunch of counter intentions. They both want the same goal, but one person is filled with a bunch of not negative, but limited beliefs and identifications of thought patterns or beliefs or whatever towards the goal. So on one end, they want to be a millionaire, but on the other end, there's so many beliefs on why they can't be a millionaire. And it's essentially their conscious choice of identifying with that. They don't understand it because they're in the traffic of it, so they can't see above it. They don't know that what they're really capable of. But the person who succeeds quite quickly and makes that multi-million, his counter intentions completely disappear, right? Like he just identifies with being the millionaire. And so what happens is what needs to be done gets done in what looks like no time at all, and everything in the universe starts to correspond with his intention. But the thing is, the limited person who wants to be a millionaire, for example, he wants to be a millionaire, he intends, I am a millionaire, but he also intends these million other intentions of, I am not a millionaire, I'm a failure, I'm a loser. So then the universe corresponds with that and gives him what he wants. That's essentially how it goes. So the only way to really make something happen in what looks like no time at all is to completely eliminate all counter intentions. You can break it down to a very simple level. How can you do something if constantly your mind is switching its intentions and constantly saying, too hard, not possible, too hard, not possible? This has nothing to do with it being too hard or not possible. It has everything to do with the way you're looking at it, because reality really changes with the way you look at it. On a daily basis, all you have to do is pay attention and you'll see. When you go ahead and do the skill that you want to do, you'll instantly see all the counter intentions in there. And this thing cannot be, these things cannot get out by just you forcing your way through it. You have to completely still your being to a very subtle level. Stilling your being to the subtle level, I'm not going to say it's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy. There's no thing that it actually is, but according to a lot of people, it would be considered hard. They can't even sit for at least a minute of their time. They can't sit still for at least 5 seconds. And it doesn't take a lot of effort. If you can still yourself for 30 to 60 minutes, I mean, life is effortlessly for you. It's effortless. It's exploring the deeper dimensions, the subtle dimensions, which is something else that we don't even know. But thoughts and emotions is nothing. It's nothing. So when you look at somebody who's successful, especially someone who's successful in a very short time, it's because in their being is a certain identity. It's a certain identity that they intended, that they placed intention upon in an earlier time in their life. And that's essentially what gets things done. What brings the skill sets, what brings the money, what brings the being is an identity of intentions and beliefs and thoughts and patterns. That's what brings the person. The person who's successful, the person who's unsuccessful, the same thing, but instead they have the idea of success in them already, but what it is they're identifying with the negative counter intentions. So the quickest way to succeed is to get your body so relaxed and to get your being so still. The body relaxed because if you're agitated when the energy surges, it's harder to manage. It requires more subtle focus and concentration. So it's easier to just get yourself super relaxed and stretched out, which is the purpose of Hatha Yoga in the yoga lore, because it's supposed to get your body out of the way, and able to give you to the deeper states. This is why this dude said Guru learned how to become an engineer so quickly, because he had no counter intentions. I mean, what would take somebody 4 years of study, 5, 6 years of study, and then about a year or two in the field to get a decent job, this guy did within a matter of no education, no formal education, just a undisturbed mind, undisturbed awareness, no counter intentions, and was able to start making the same as senior engineers in his field in just a matter of a couple months, which is just insane. A couple months, a master in the field, making tons of money, money checked off, done. And all in all, that's just about goal setting and getting things done in the world, which isn't the substance. The stillness is the substance, it's the fullness of life. Your main goal is to get to the stillness at all times. It will handle life for you. you'll begin to see and handle things exactly the way they need to be handled, because now you've rise above your thoughts and limited thoughts and emotions. So you'll naturally choose the best possible way to handle something. But you cannot do that if you're in the traffic jams of the limited thoughts. You can only do that if you rise above them, so you get to the stillness. You will use the best way to get to the stillness that you know right now. I can't tell you exactly what to do. You have to do your best that gets you relaxed and still. And easy way to just search up different ways and stuff like that. But I have my way that I'm gonna indulge in to get myself to the stillness, to work best with where I'm at right now. I know a couple ways. And yeah, that's what I want to say today.